Tonight, we look at the world of kiteboarding, and we are chatting to a man born in the windy city of Gqeberha and currently residing in the wind capital of the world, which is Cape Town. Good evening, Josh Emmanuel, and welcome to Sport on Full View.
Good evening. How's it going?
It's going well, thanks. I mean, just right off the bat, let's get this clarification between the two disciplines of kiteboarding and kite surfing, because one of them is an Olympic sport and the other not really.
Kiteboarding would be more seen on a board that's sort of done like a wakeboard, and kite surfing is more on the discipline of the surfing side. So you'll be riding a board that's more along a surfboard's type style instead of a wakeboard. So like, for instance, in the Red Bull King of the Air, we would use a kiteboard instead of a kite surfboard.
All right. And now let's just talk about your relationship with a kiteboarding, and just in terms of how big the sport is when it comes to competition, especially from non-competitors.
So for sure, the sport's definitely grown over the years. When the Red Bull King of the Air first started, it was something that I always looked up to and dreamt of being in the event. Was meant to be in the event for the first time in 2013. But had an accident just before the event, which pushed it out for me to only compete for the first time in 2014. But even since then, the way the sport's developed and the level of riding, never mind just from back then, but from year to year, it's growing hugely. And it's like a lot of new faces are coming up in the sport. So to say, it's definitely growing fast.
And now with this worldwide pandemic, the frequency of competitions has now been altered significantly. What bearing does that have in terms of financial losses or gains for an athlete like yourself?
Yeah, so for sure. I haven't left the country now in probably a year and a half, obviously since the first lockdown, and I still haven't traveled this year. And it's still not easy for us to travel. There are certain places we can go to. It does. The one thing that really sucks is that obviously the competitions have all come to an halt. We didn't have events, or we had the Red Bull King of the Air last year, but the Mega Loop Challenge was held off, which is in the Netherlands. So for myself, I've actually launched my own kite school in Durban. This is where I'm from originally. So I've moved back to my hometown and launched a kite school, Fruit Loops, in Durban. And that's what I'm busy with at the moment. I'm still going to stay fully committed to kiting, and at the moment just recovering from an injury. So we'll hopefully be back on the water in July, and then I'll start putting my head down in the water and start training really hard for the next event.
That is just fantastic to hear. Congratulations on that. And when we look at a sport like kite surfing, it doesn't have that prominence of your cricket, soccer, rugbies, so it hinges a lot on a sponsorship. Are you guys still professional, or is this a passion really fueled, a sport really fueled by passion, and you are paying your way through it?
No, so I'm a sponsored athlete. I'm sponsored by two main brands, being Brunati, who provides me all my accessories, harnesses, wetsuits, and then my main sponsor would be Core Kiteboarding, who provides all my gear that I need to ride, basically my kites, my boards, and bars.
And earlier on, you alluded to the fact that there may be some events which are coming up. Maybe just tell us a few about those.
The first event that would be coming up, again, this is all depending on the pandemic, if it will be possible to run the event, but it would be the Red Bull Mega Loop Challenge in Holland, which runs pretty much from April to November. We wait for the next big storm that happens. And then, the next big event after that would be the Red Bull King of the Air in Cape Town.
All right. And just before we wrap it up, is this a sport for everyone? Especially when we look at technicalities and just the build of the body, can anyone and everyone participate in the sport?
Yeah, the sport's open to anyone. I'm currently teaching a few kids from the age of 10 years old. And it's a lot of people expect the sport that you need a lot of strength and stuff like that. It's really not like that at all. You have a harness that holds all the power. And if you get taught by the right people, you can learn the sport really quick. And it's something that you can progress really fast in. If you just take a look at the the Kings of the Air documentary on Red Bull TV. It's like you'll see the progression in the sport from where it was 8, 9, 10 years ago to where it is currently. It's crazy, the progression that's actually come through in the sport, and can't even believe to think where it's going to be in 5-6 years' time with these new up-and-coming riders.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Josh. That is Josh Emmanuel giving us insight into the sport of kiteboarding. Taking a look at tennis now, where Spain's world number 3, Rafael Nadal, is on course to win his 12th Monte Carlo Masters after brushing aside Federico Del Bono's 6-1, 6-2 to advance to the round of 16 in Monaco. There were no major surprises on day 3 of the tournament, with all the big-name players managing to advance. Defending champion Fabio Fognini of Italy, world number 1 Novak Djokovic of Serbia, and Russian Andrei Rublev are all through to the next round.
Russian Andrei Rublev was the first man on court on day 3 of the Monte Carlo Masters. The 23-year-old Russian, who is